G'day guys, it's Jake here, your favorite friend that you can pause. Today what I want to do is expand on what I've done so far. What we've done previously is made it so I can place down orders to construct a wall. My little guy, he'll go and construct them. What I want to do is make him go and actually grab materials that are required for this. Right now there's no material requirements. You put down a wall, he can just build it. So what it should be is you put down a wall, and before he can start the task of construction, it needs to have all its requirements. And we hadn't done that yet because we wanted to add wood. And we've done that now. We can even just go orders, harvest, drag out an area, and he'll go and harvest the wood. And now we've got wood on the map that we can use to make this guy. So since we've got that, let's adjust these build orders a little bit. First thing I'm going to do actually is I'm not going to waste time harvesting wood every time. Let's actually just spawn some in automatically. So it's all done now on my, here's my main game hierarchy in my terrain, which holds the map and all the items on it. And what I want to do is just in ready, after I've generated terrain, let's spawn some wood. Now it's spawn item by name, wood. How does this work again? Place item by name, sorry. So we put in the name, the terrain position, and the amount. So vector 2i for the terrain position, and let's just make it 10 and 10. And let's put a huge amount, let's put 100 there for now. Let's make sure that worked. There, and now we've got some wood that'll be here every time that we can build from. Okay, so first thing is, right now, as soon as we start building, it adds a construction task, a move and construct task to the task manager. Let's go and change that. So that happens also in terrain when a object is placed, when a construction order is placed. You can see right here, add task, task type, build, new construction. So instead of specifically asking here, I think I was about to start writing a task to start hauling, but let's make the task system handle that. So let's make a new one. Let's instead make it add build order, because that's all that terrain wants to know. That here's the build order, pass to the task system, let it handle it. And it's already a build order, so we don't need to say what kind of type it is. And we'll just pass the construction to it. And then the task manager will handle it from there. So let's jump over from here. Hopefully we shouldn't have to do much more in the terrain. All the tasks should be handled by the task manager. So let's jump over to our task manager, which is here. Okay, so we had this generic add order. Let's make a specific one now. So func add build order, and the target item, which is our construction. And so who's going to know the requirements? The item's going to know the requirements. So let's go to the target item and let's initialize its requirements, because they're all coming as prototypes. So let's initialize those. And then after we've done that, we'll create the task. So let's go have a look at our actual wall object and see how that's looking. I haven't looked at that in a little while. Here we go. The wall. And it's pretty simple. It's just got a class name. It extends from node. It's got its tile map index and position that tells our tile map what picture to apply to it. This isn't really implemented. The placing mode is whether you can drag it out. And the build difficulty, which also is not, oh, it is implemented. That's how difficult it would be, but we're not playing with that yet. So let's, for each item, so this is going to be generic later on. It's not just going to be wall. It's going to be all the buildable stuff. So I think the way I'll do it, export requirements. I think what I'll do is I'll make it a dictionary. So you'll have wood and the amount 20. So the key is wood and the number is 20. So then we can't repeat wood in there twice. The amount we need is 20. So we could also, and let's put it in for now, let's also put in, say, berries, which is the only other item I've implemented so far. Let's say you need 5 berries in order to build this guy. All right, so I'll save that. And that'll be a default. Since it's exported, later on we can change those here. So you can add it more or less. You could change that object here. The other option I think would be to actually make a class for requirements, but I don't think that's required yet. I think the dictionary is good enough for now. All right, so I made that function, or I called that function. Was it init requirements? Yeah, init requirements. So he needs to track whether he's got them or not. So that means we're also going to have some memory. Requirements ready. And so that will be filled up from this one. And now that I think about it, so requirements ready will be when he's got it, he's holding it, he needs to remember it. It's not going to sit on the map, it's going to sit inside this guy. And let's also keep a little variable for requirements that are promised. So when the task is set, or maybe when the guy picks up the requirements and has them on the way, we'll block it off here as well. So requirements on the way. Hopefully this doesn't get too convoluted and I don't confuse myself too much making this. All right, and so in init requirements, all we'll do is we'll just go, let's say for requirement in requirements. So we're just going to loop through this dictionary and we'll just initialize these two guys here. So requirements on the way, we'll add that requirement key and it'll just be 0 to start off with. And same thing for requirements ready. So that just mean we've got these two will be dictionaries equal to this guy, but with both numbers being 0. All right, I think that works. And then what we'll do, to know what the requirements are, because we could just call this one, but that wouldn't take into account what's already there, what's on the way. So let's make a function for it. Get requirement. Let's pass it a name. And we'll just go, all right, so the amount of any particular requirement. So imagine we ask get requirement wood, and we'll see how much is here. We can go, all right, requirements, requirement name. So the initial amount here will be the 20, but then we'll take away everything from these guys. So amount minus equals requirements on the way, and amount minus equals requirements ready. And then let's keep this requirement object always the same. So it's going to be basically that. So return the requirement name and the amount. So that way we can return both at the same time. Although it's already got the string there. Well, I can change it if I need to. I'm just sort of fleshing it out. And let's just have it so we can get a list of all the requirements. Let's go func, just get requirements. Not sure if we'll use this requirements just while I'm here. All right, let me think. Let's add one that'll just say if he's done. So func has all requirements. And this would just be a bool. And let's see. So first we put a tag. It's got everything equals true. Then we'll loop through basically this one, and anything that's still has more than 0 needed, we can flag that and return a false. So for requirement in requirements, if get requirement number 1, so it's going to return this one, and we just want that amount is greater than 0, then has everything is false. And then when we're done, we'll just return has everything. I might just make a Boolean version of this as well. I'm sort of going all over a bit at the moment because I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do this. So I'm just sort of thinking as I go. So let's say it does need, give it an item name or requirement name. Just going to be a string. And this is going to return a Boolean. And while I'm doing this and making it better, why don't we put these in as well? And that would just be this guy here again, basically. if he does need this requirement, let's keep this a bit more. So if he needs it, it'll return true. Otherwise, we'll return false. Let's make this nicer. All right, so while I'm here, we'll need to be filling these guys up. So let's make a little function which gets called from outside. Func report requirement on the way. So let's just say the requirement name and the amount that's on the way. And then we'll just go requirements on the way. Let's see, it was amount. So the other class will say, hey mate, you've got this much on the way. And so this guy won't ask for any more. And if we've got that there, we better put a cancellation on it just in case the guy drops it, which probably won't be implemented for a while. Requirement on the way, and this would just be minus equal. And finally, one more for when the item actually gets here. Never forgot that. Deliver item deliver requirement name, and the amount. And then we'll just go requirements ready, requirement name plus equals amount. And I guess that should also happen at the same time. So when it's actually delivered, it gets removed from the promise menu. I think that works. All right, before I get to up my own ass here, let's go and actually start trying to call it and maybe get something testable. So going back to the task manager, right now we're just going initialize the requirements, which is what we've just done. So all the requirements are in the wall now. So now let's go create a resource delivery task. Oops, we'll definitely have to pass through the item as well. Okay, so it's going to be for requirement in target item dot get requirements. Good. So it's going to be a task. So what I'll do, so far we've been doing this sort of generic add a task, and then this guy does all of them. So we're basically going to be doing one of these. So first it's going to be create a new task, and init is the next thing. So it's going to be new task dot init delivery task. And you can see, keeping with it's got the target item, and let's give it that requirement. I think that works well. So we're new delivery task, which we need to know its target and needs to know that requirement. And what we're going to do is it'll go through each requirement and create individual tasks for it. So right now it would be create a wood delivery task and a berry delivery task. And then we add it to the queue. So just copying here, task queue.append. All right. So now we need to actually make this init delivery task, which I haven't done yet. So the initialization of a task happens inside the task. So let's go find our task. All right. Now, originally I was going to make this the haul task, but I think we're going to have a haul for like standard, like delivering stuff to storage areas, and then delivery or resource. No, let's just go requirement delivery. A bit verbose, but it's keeping with what we've been doing so far. So these are our inits, and let's make a new one. Func. So it's got the target and it's got the resource. Okay, and what we're doing here, you can see with the other ones. So for harvesting a plant, first you walk to the plant and then you harvest it. For like finding food and eating it, first you find the item, then you have a walk to task, then a pick up task, then an eat task. So we need to work out what are the sub tasks of this one. And it's going to be, I guess, find an item. So it's going to be pretty much this one. Find an item. And this item categories, which we originally went with. It may not work anymore. And also, I think my find and eat food task will be broken right now as well. I have not tested it since we changed the way that items are handled. So for now, let's just move to the new system. Let's keep that. I've got a real problem with like changing my nomenclature all the time. And so the requirement is going to come through as a little array. It's going to be the name and the amount. So we need to just go requirement number 0, which will be the name. And then we append that subtask. And so the next thing will be walk to that item, which we can also copy from here. Walk to. And the way I made it work is so that after you find the requirement, it'll automatically pass that to the walk to subtask. Now we need to pick it up. Do we have a pickup task? We do. Of course, we use that for the berry as well. For the eating, I should say. So we pick up. Now we need to know not just to pick it up. There's going to be an amount as well, because there may be a pile of like 1,000. You're only going to take a certain amount. So let's go subtask target item amount, I guess. It was requirement number 1, which is the amount. And that doesn't exist yet. So let's go add that. Target item amount. And I think this can have a default. It'll usually just be 1 if not specified otherwise. All right, so we've found the requirement, we've walked to it, we've picked it up. So the next thing to do is a walk to the actual construction. And that one, basically now we're doing the build task. So walk next to is what we've got, so we don't walk on top of it. And then finally, let's have a subtask, requirement delivery. So once we've walked there, we just have to drop it there. And that'll need the target as well. So we've walked to it, right? So we find the wood on the map, we walk to it, we pick it up, then we walk to the construction, then we deliver that requirement, and then that's the end of the delivery task, I guess. Okay, so let's see what happens now. I'm not sure if, obviously it's not finished yet, but I want to see if just the task gets handed off. So if I just say structure, build a wall, okay. Oh, so we've gotten all the way to find nearest item. That's good. So this will be having an error because it's going off the old system. Okay, so there's no, well, it still exists because I haven't deleted it yet, but we did a refactor and the item manager doesn't handle this stuff anymore. The terrain does. So we need to add this guy, find nearest item to the terrain, and then make that work over there. And we will just basically steal it from the item manager. So find nearest item, and you can see this is it right here. Copy that. Let's jump to the terrain. So I guess around this place item stuff is a good place to put it. All right, so we're probably not using item categories anymore. Let's just replace that with a string. And the reason I like strings, because I didn't really know about this at the time, that you've got these groups. If you go have a look at my berries, it's added the group food. So we've got that, but we've also just got the name. So I think we'll keep with what we can use. I like strings. I don't want to have to make a new, so what we're doing before is we had this list of categories, which then added this list of strings. But I want to keep it a bit more, it's a terrible word, agile than that. I want to make it easy to change. We might bring it back later to something a bit quicker like this, but let's just keep it simple for now. So going back to terrain, is there anything else I've got to change to make this work? The world position, that's fine. Length items in world. That is just items now. For item in items. Is item in category. So let's drag that guy across as well and change the way we do that. So item in category. And so now item category is just a string. So we'll just pass that through like that. All right, let's go run it and see what breaks next. Oh, okay. So the pawn AI does not have access to the terrain. The same. So the pawn AI is the one that actually does the tasks. So that's what's throwing the error at the moment. All right, so I'm calling my item is a vector 2. So invalid call non-existent is in group on base vector 2i. Oh, of course, because the item, yes, it's because we're looping through a dictionary. And when you do that, you get the, let's see, so my items are kept as, it gives the position first, then the name. So the position is the key. So I'm getting all the positions. So what I need to do is let's just go for key in items, and I'll go var item equals items dot key. So what that'll do is it'll grab this key and it'll grab the, sorry, items number key. So that'll grab the, whatever position this is, it'll grab that one from the dictionary and pass that through instead. Okay, so it started the subtask find item, but it's not found any item. So it's forced the task to finish. Okay, so we're not throwing errors anymore, but it's also not finding my wood item. And now I bet we've got two, because one is the wood and one is the berries, and it couldn't find the wood or the berries. Why can't it find them? So what's changed? So let's just print what I'm doing here. So print item.name and print item category. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so it's definitely finding my trees and my berry bushes, my item list. And it's finding my wood. Now what's this B? Why's my item category just coming across as B? So for some reason, I'm just passing a B through here. Let's check that one more time. So see, it's looking for wood, I'm looking for berries. Now, why am I only calling for that first letter? I bet I've treated it differently in the past. I'm talking to an array. So go back to where I asked for the nearest item. That was a pawn AI. Find nearest item. Subtask, and it wants the target item type. All right, so it's a problem in the task then. Let's just print it here. Let's see what's being asked. Just to make sure I'm tagging that. So is it going to be W and B again? Yeah, all right, so it is happening earlier than that. Tracing it back. So find nearest item, so it's in the subtask target item type. So in the find item subtask, I bet I'm doing it wrong there. Requirement number 0. Oh, okay, so the string must be being put through here. So I thought we were putting through the array, so I must have called this different to what I thought. So init delivery task. Coming from the task manager, get requirements. Oh, okay. So me going through and doing this so quickly may be a problem. Get requirements, return requirements. Yeah, because I'm just going through this, I'm getting all the strings when I go get requirements. What a dickhead. So what I need to do is actually go get the requirement and use this function that I made exactly for this. So for each requirement, we're going to go get requirement, requirement. So that will give me that little array that I wanted. What's up? Target item dot. All right, let's give that a go. No item. All right, still not finding it. Let's go see what's being passed through now. Well, let's see what's being asked for first. request item category. We should get wood. Requirement. Require. Can't remember what I was asking for. All right, structure or request wood, request berries. All right, so we are requesting wood and we are requesting berries. And of course, the problem is we're still asking for categories and not the actual name of the thing. So let's just for now, or item.name equals item category. So now this item is item in category. We'll check if it's in the category, but also if it's the name is the same, it'll work as well. Oh, there we go. So it's picked it up and gone straight to this new subtask requirement. Wait a minute. Did he pick it up? Find item, walk to. What happened to pick it up? I guess I haven't put it in yet. Okay, so it's we've got two sort of kind of tasks, some that are ongoing ones, which happen here, and some which only happen once. We've got walk to, blah, 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 pick up. Pick up is here, so why wasn't it being called? Print, start, pick up. Did I forget to put pick up in there? He walks to it, and then it goes straight to requirement delivery. Pickup's right here. We've appended the subtask. So why is it skipped these two tasks? Oh, dickhead. I didn't make them as new tasks. All right. So basically what we did is we just renamed the task and added it again. So by the time we got to the end, it was, yeah. So it was in there 3 times. Bloody hell. All right, structure, whoa, bop. All right. That looked the same to me. But he did pick it up and he did walk to it. So let's make sure. I'm not actually sure if picking up is working. So he's supposed to go and pick up a certain amount. So that's definitely not going to work. So let's go through and have a look. So start pickup. On pickup item is going to do it. All right. So it's going to need an amount now. So before this, you should just pick up a single thing from the floor and remove it from the world. So that needs to be in the terrain now. I realize what I should be doing is duplicating the item now, because if there's 10 on the ground and I pick up 5, there's now going to be 2 objects. So I need to separate them. So the one in hand is different to the one on the ground. And in hand dot amount will equal the amount that we just picked up. Just to make sure, yep. So we pick it up, make sure the amount we've got is right. And then we're going to remove a certain amount from the world now. Yeah, so this one just used to just blip the item out of the world. Now it'll just remove the amount I'm asked for. And then if it comes to 0, then we'll remove it. All right, so remove item from world. It's now in terrain, but we need to go from the item manager and steal it from before. Remove item from world, and you can see it's pretty simple, just remove item. Okay. So let's go to terrain, and after place item, let's put it here. Whoops. All right, so it's now going to have an amount, which is an int. And so removing it from the world is not removing children anymore. We still do need to erase it if there's none left. First of all, let's make this default to 0. Let's say if count is not equal to 0, then we'll just go item dot count minus equals amount. So we'll just remove that amount from the list if it's not 0. Here's me mixing up my counts and amounts again. On the item, I did make it a count. All right, now if the amount equals 0 or the item dot count is less than or equal to 0, so I'm counting on the fact that I might fuck up and remove more than what's actually there. Let's handle that. And so the idea is if I just say 0, it's forcing it to destroy the item. So you can't take 0 from something. So let's make it if I give 0, or if I use the old one that just says remove item, it'll be defaulted to 0 and we'll just remove it. So we need the layer, we need the terrain position, which will be world to terrain position of the item dot position. So now we've got the terrain position. Now what we're going to be doing is just doing this layer thing. If the item's an item, or if it's a construction, because I've got two sort of separate systems for that right now. And we'll go items dot erase from that terrain pos. And same thing for this one. We go constructions dot erase terrain position. And then now that it's removed from our arrays, we just have to remove it from the tile map. So we just go, we've got the layer, we've got the terrain position, and we'll just set it to -1. We'll delete that guy. I think that should work, but we haven't told the amount from the AI yet. So on pickup item now needs to have an amount, and it's going to be subtask dot amount, and that should do it. And so let's just make it the same for now. So we asked for 20 wood. So let's make sure I'm actually putting 20 wood there, and it should disappear. All right, so my pile's there with 20 wood. Build the wall. No. And, oh, target item amount. In hand dot. This is me mixing up my nomenclature again. Yes, it's gone. All right, the delivery is still not working yet, but let's just do one quick test before we move on. If there's 21 wood there, then it should leave 1 behind. And so it should not delete the wood. Yes. All right, I wanted deleting it for now, so let's leave that. And then let's go and set up this requirement delivery. So this is when we get there, we just have to blip it onto the actual object. All right, so this will happen in the pawn AI. And so now we need to add one more task. And this will be the requirement delivery. And there's no ongoing subtasks, so we don't need to do that. We just have the standard, all right, we're finished. And then the actual doing thing is deliver requirement. So deliver the requirement to this guy. And do I already have a drop item? No. So we'll need to have a more generic drop item thing later, but let's have a specific deliver one. All right, so let's just put in if in hand equals null, error, cannot deliver, no item in hand. So let's just have that there, just in case. And then we'll just go target dot deliver item and grab the in hand item. So the target is the wall, deliver item. We put that in already, didn't we? Deliver requirement, and is the name and the amount. In hand dot name, in hand dot count. Deliver requirement, and it's all right, so he's got his stuff now. So I guess what I do now, he's got the thing. If you ask him now, he'll be ready to go, except for the berries. So what we need to do now is, well, the berry request task should already be there. So let's, for now, let's just see if that works. So let's go back to our terrain. Let's add some berries. And let's see if the two work together. Gets the wood, gets the berries. All right. So I can't really check, but this guy should be ready to go now. So what we need to do is let the task manager know when something gets delivered. So you can deliver it, and then we can check if it needs any more items. And if there's no more items, then we can create the build task. So we just need to go, let's make the AI do it. After we deliver a requirement, we could have the wall do this. It doesn't have access to the task manager. I don't really want to give it access to the task manager if I don't have to. The pawn AI's already got it. So let's let him do it. Task manager, report item delivered to target, and the item was that item. Oh, and then we've got to clear the item from his hand. So then we just go in hand equals null. Yeah, so we've delivered it. Now it's actually, you may have noticed when we give it to the wall, to the construction, it's not actually an item anymore. It's just an item name, it's just a string. In the hand, it was actually the item, because I'm thinking if he's holding a sword or something, we need to keep all the stats for it. But for deliveries, it's always going to be generic. It may have to change a little bit later if, as I think about it now, there's not just wood and all wood is the same because it's got deterioration, so that won't be included. But it's fine for now. I think I may regret that. Anyway, that's how it is. We can always go back and just change all these requirements to pass through. Instead of being a string to being the item, it's not that big a thing. All right, so report item delivered to, go back to the task manager, to the target and the item. All right, so let's just do a little print delivered. And what we'll do now, if the target has all requirements, which is what I called it. Has all requirements, yep. Boolean has all requirements. Then we add a task, task.taskType.build at the target. So that when he first gives the wood, it should say delivered, but it's not got all requirements yet. But after we do the berries, this one should be ready. So let's give that a go. Okay, so he's not started building it. It's marked delivered. So maybe I haven't actually done a lot of the reporting stuff, have I? I never marked when the requirements were on the way. Let's just see what this is returning first, eh? Print target dot has all requirements. Assumedly, it's saying false. This is not going to work actually because you can't walk on this snow. So that's a bit of a dud there. Let's try again. Get the wood. And yeah, it's been marked as false. So this has all requirements is not working. All right, so let's puzzle through this. So when I go... requirements on the way, for some reason, is -20. When have I even done anything with requirements on the way? So we initialize it to 0. Did I ever actually call this? Oh, Jake, you dickhead. I cancelled it out here. Even though we didn't add it, I cancelled it out. All right, we're not using this yet. God damn it. All right. And he builds it, and it's built. And I build some more, and he can get the berries, and he's adding the berries for each one. But we've got no wood to do the rest. I know. So let's just go test one more thing. Look, there's more that's got to be done on this, but this is running a bit long already for today. Yeah, let's just try this. Let's get rid of the berries. So it no longer needs berries. Just needs 20 wood. And let's go ahead and try that out. I can go ahead and draw that. And we'll get the wood and we'll build it. And I can actually go down here. And I don't know why I'm wasting time harvesting berries. But let's harvest all this wood. Okay, now it hasn't actually done it. So I think what it is I'm getting the task and throwing it back. In fact, we'll be able to see that right here. It gives all these tasks, and basically the tasks are gone. So what we need to do, and this will be the last thing I do today, I think, is when we cancel that task, let's reset the task. No. Let's go to the task manager and let's return task unfinished. Current task, and let the task manager deal with it. Then we will just go current task equals null, current, null, current action equals pawn action idle, and we'll just return from there. So that'll put him back into normal mode. So let's go and quickly do this. Task manager, return task unfinished, and we'll just go task dot restart that task. So we'll just go back and make sure the settings are all back to normal, and task queue dot append, and we'll just put this task back in the queue. So task restart. Basically, I think the only thing I need to do is just set the current subtask back to 0. And I can tell you what's going to happen now is he's going to go into a death spiral of doing the tasks again and giving it back, giving it back. Let's just quickly check on that. And you can see we're just going into a forever loop. It's just wasting time. And I don't really want to be doing the tasks that quick or retrying them again that quickly. So let's put a little timer. Let's just stick one in here, var last attempt time equals 0. And when we restart it, let's just go last attempt time equals time dot get, what was it, get ticks millisecond. And so what we'll do is if this was already just tried like 1 millisecond ago, we don't want to try it again yet. So we'll make it so we won't assign this task unless it's been a bit of time passed. So when we give out the task, let's just go, let's get the task first. And yeah, let's remove it from the queue. And we'll just go if time.get 6 milliseconds minus the task.last attempt time is greater than, let's say, 2 seconds. Then I'll return the task. Otherwise, we will just put the task back on the end of the queue. Okay, so we grab the task, remove it from the queue. If it wasn't tried in the last 2 seconds, we'll return this one to the AI that's asking for it. Otherwise, we'll stick it on the end of the task. And so what will happen if, I might change this again later, but basically what will happen, he'll just keep going, check, is this task done? And it'll just keep getting flipped. Basically, if we've got 10 tasks that are tried in the last 2 seconds, it'll keep flipping through them. It might be a bit heavy, but I'm going to come back and change this later anyway, because it's not doing anything like finding the nearest task or anything like that yet. It's not looking at his preferences, what his jobs are. But this will at least stop it spamming down here and trying it again and again and again. All right, so he's sitting there not doing the task. And so I can just go order, let's go harvest these 3 trees. And yeah, he's going placing it. And he had enough for that one. Oh, was that really enough? Let's just pause. How much wood was dropped then? All right, so I get the feeling that perhaps that wasn't the right amount of wood, but there's a fair bit to do with the count yet. So I might come back and make this a bit more complicated later. Right now, the main thing is we can build stuff. Yeah, I think that's a decent start. All right. Thanks for hanging around, guys. Hopefully this wasn't too much for me running back and forth and screwing shit up. Thanks for your time. I'll see you around.